So now's the moment of truth. We're going to fit the string back on and tighten it up, and hopefully it won't break. So now we're going to put the string down the bottom hitch pin first. When you fitted it on, normally you would want to put a half turn in the direction, or 1 turn in the direction of the coil to tighten the coil up. That's commonly you do that when you also want to revive the string a bit. You might make the coil a bit wider. So you put it round there. It may come off those pins. It doesn't matter too much. And then we're going to the top. We need to find out how much string we need. First of all, we need to wind this out, so that, because obviously if we start to put the coil on without winding it out, then it'll be too far in. You might want to change the tuning pin at this stage. I'm just feeling it to see how tight it is. Obviously if you change the tuning, put a bit larger one in, then it's going to be tighter. It is reasonably tight, but if you've got access to a new pin, that's a good idea. Obviously cosmetically it makes a difference if you do that. We'll wind this out further than we need to, because we can always use a pin setter to put it back in. So I think that's further than we will need it out. So we now just pull the old little coil. As I say, you could use this to do the splice. I've done that before, but there's not really much coil on here, as you can see. If it was 4, then I might consider using this. That's even better, because the new bit of string's got to settle as well. This bit here has got to stretch, so that will tend to go out of tune. Then we want to find out how many, normally with 3 or 4 fingers here, so 1 finger represents 1 turn, and because we've got the extra bit on the splice here, that's going to pull 2. So I'm going to cut it a bit higher than that. So just cut it off, probably actually I think 3 fingers would be about right, because we've got the extra bit that's going to come down. So we'll cut it at 3 fingers. This is, you need some proper wire cutters ideally. This is, I've had these for a long time. They seem to work extremely well. So we cut that off, and now we thread it through, and then the coil will tighten itself up. Sorry, the splice will tighten itself up, and then we're going to tidy that up as well. So we'll put it through the pin. So now we just want it to not poke out. Some manufacturers make them poke out, and I just had a Baldwin the other day that had it poked out, but now we want to turn it around on the coil tightly, and that's enough really to hold it, and then we can put it round the pin at the bottom and just check, see what sort of length we've got. It came off at the pin down here, so I'm just going to put it back on again. There we are. Around there. Holding it tight and just winding it on gradually. Want to do a nice tight coil like the original ones. This will be more turnings on here. It's more like 4, I should think. You can at this point just pull the splice to get it a bit tighter. Now the splice is quite tight, and just continue to wind the coil on here. And now we're getting to the point. Now at this point I'm going to tidy up the splice. So the end that we cut off is fine. That's just about right. But this end we can cut off a bit more. Being careful not to cut the string itself. There we are. And that should work fine. Now I'll just finish it off. And put it round this pin. Just going to check down the bottom that it's going round the pins properly. When we finish off, we're going to push it down on here because it's not quite on. In fact, I think I'll do that now. I'll push it onto the pin. As I say, we might want to put an extra turn in it in the direction of the coil just to tighten the copper wire. Now's the moment of no the moment of no return, as it were. Now you can see that that's the other way around, and it was, because it's nice and shiny on that side. You know, I always get nervous at this point that it's going to break, which it may do in about 50% of cases. At least we've attempted it, though. Makes me quite nervous, this. We're nearly there. Very nearly there. And it broke. So in the, as I say, in about 50% of cases it won't work. We nearly got there and it broke. So we're going to have to send the string to the string maker, or we'll copy. What we do is we either send the string to the string maker, or we want to know the diameter of the wire, diameter of the copper, then hitch pin to copper, that length, and then the length of the copper. And if we send all those measurements to the string maker, it should come back correct. We don't need to send the actual string itself. So sorry this demonstration didn't work. The last one I did work. So I say 50% of cases it works, the other 50% not. I hope that was useful for somebody. So if you haven't got access to a string maker, then you could try splicing, or if you just wanted to try splicing, see if it works. But it is better to splice, because the original string doesn't have to, the string doesn't have to stretch. It's not a new one. And if it's a treble string, you don't change the treble string. We'll just show you the treble strings while we're at it. Now in this case, this is not so common. We've got one individual one there and then two here. So if one of those two breaks, you don't have to replace the string. But if that one breaks, you do. So hopefully we won't break any of these. And in fact we won't. I'm pretty sure this has been pitch raised already, so we're okay. We've taken the strings up. So just that one bass string that we've got to replace. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that's useful.